Well, when I started thinking about running for president, I needed to know what kind of image I wanted to project to the American people. And the first thing was that I wanted to be known as a working person, a working man who was in the fields and in the woods, who was just a common, ordinary person and not somebody aligned with the really complicated political morass in Washington at that time. So Plains was a perfect site for projecting that sort of image. It's not a false image. It's a tiny town surrounded by good fields and farmers and agriculture. And since I was a farmer myself, that was a natural thing for me to do. This was a theme that was used throughout my entire campaign. And I thought the best symbolic place and also the best practical place for me to have as a headquarters was a depot in Plains. It was not used at that time, and so we kind of refurbished it a little bit. And that was really the working place from which we planned and orchestrated our entire approach to the other 49 states in America to tell them who I was, what I stood for. I promised I would never tell a lie or make a misleading statement, that I would bring to the forefront the best interest of people in America who work for a living, who are not wealthy or abusive or special interest groups. And then, of course, to go into the peanut fields, where I lived anyway, I was a peanut farmer really, was a good image for me. And so I had to get a lot of campaign pictures, movies, and still photographs of me actually in the peanut field. So peanuts was a natural symbol for someone who's not a big shot. Of course, green is a color that was related more to the outdoors, to the woodlands and the fields and so forth of my surrounding community. So all of those things came together with my headquarters in the depot, and peanuts is my kind of a symbol, and green is my color.
When President Carter was governor of Georgia, the state was going through a big transformation. Previously, Southerners who had run for president had faced serious obstacles because their states were not viewed as being highly developed economically, and they were viewed as states that had very difficult race relations. And in both areas, Jimmy Carter was seen as a great reformer. He helped put Georgia on the face of the map as a vibrant economy, and he also worked very hard to ensure that discrimination against African Americans and other minorities was not tolerated. And so he was seen as, because of his efforts in Georgia, as part of the New South and kind of the alternative to George Wallace as a national candidate for president. And that helped him win supporters not only in the South but all over the country based on this record that he had established.
This is a picture of me talking to Governor Wallace. When I came home the night of the final primaries, I had won, and I was going to be the Democratic nominee. So George Wallace, who had run against me, and he thought he was going to win at first, he had sent us an Alabama State Patrolman over here and said, when Carter gets back to Plains, have him call me, no matter what time it was. I got here about 3:30 in the morning. I called Governor Wallace. He said, Jimmy? And I said, yeah, George. He said, I've got 730 delegates for the Democratic Convention. They're yours.
Wow.
So he gave me his delegates, and that was me talking to George Wallace.
When Jimmy Carter ran for president in 1976, he was not as well known as many of the other candidates. In some ways, this was an advantage because he was not from Washington, and the nation was still reeling from the Watergate scandal that led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon in 1974. But it did mean that he had to work very hard to become known throughout the nation, and he had to organize campaigns in all 50 states. But with the help of his family, the Peanut Brigade, and other supporters, he was able to win the Democratic nomination, and then in the fall, defeat the current president, Gerald Ford. It was certainly a great day for the South because it had been a long time since a Southerner had been elected president.
The Peanut Brigade was a group of volunteers who went all over the country when Jimmy campaigned for president. Actually, we had I think we called it High Neighbor when Jimmy ran for governor the second time when he won. It was Georgia people that traveled all over the state. And that was where the idea came from, I think. And the Peanut Brigade was the president's race. And it was friends actually from Georgia to start with, and then as we gained and knew people and made friends and supporters in different states across the country. We had people from different states going everywhere too. We couldn't have won without them, I don't think. We all campaigned in the presidential race. I went to 48 states. I've been to the other two since then, but 48 states. Jack had a campaign, he and his wife, Chip and his wife campaigned, Jeff and his wife campaigned, Jimmy's mother campaigned, her sister, Jimmy's Aunt Sissy campaigned. We were going all over the country. And lots of places I went, I met members of the Peanut Brigade who had been there before I got there, and so that made it really nice for me to be where people knew that we had so many friends that cared enough about wanting Jimmy to be president that they traveled all over the country.